What is shaking, Internet? This is Salt's bringing you the How to Tank for Dummies Upper Blackrock Spire mini guide. This guide is intended as a basic guide for the newly revamped Upper Blackrock Spire 5-man dungeon for the pre-patch, meaning the level 90 version. I will be making a separate guide for the level 100 version when that is available at a later time, so enjoy this mini guide for now. For those of you running it right now needing a quick synopsis, kill rallying banners in the first room of trash. Interrupt debilitating ray and don't stand in fire lines in the second room of trash, and interrupt intimidating shout and summoners when they're summoning in the last room of trash. Someone should clear out the conduits on the first boss while everyone just stands on the platform. Kill the ads on the second boss first while avoiding fire lines and interrupting debilitating fixation, and just tank up the last boss while not standing in his spinning axes. So Upper Blackrock Spire is the pre-patch dungeon for the launch event to Warlords of Draenor. It is a 3-boss dungeon that isn't terribly hard, but is quite a step up in difficulty from the Mists of Pandaria heroics. The first room you'll enter is one filled with trash packs. You'll have to clear out every single one of them before you can move on, but only grab one pack at a time. Don't get greedy. The grunts in the first room will spawn Rallying Banner, which will call out to the others and pull in more packs if you leave it alive long enough. As soon as you see them, summon the banner, then you need to switch targets and burn it down. The other trash in this room is actually mostly ignorable. You can interrupt the casters if you like, and the wolves do a highly damaging cone attack, but you can just move out of that. Just remember to deal with the Rallying Banner, or it can cause serious problems in your group, as you can see in the video behind me. I would recommend grabbing only one pack at a time to keep everything manageable. Your healers may be unaccustomed to the changes in patch 6.0, so give them time to breathe. I also suggest pulling the packs outside of the side rooms so that you have more room to see and fight them. You can do this easily by running in, using your AoE moves, then stepping out and around the corner very quickly. Once you clear this room completely, the door in the back will open up and the first boss's chamber will be available. Excuse me. You'll have to clear some very weak trash first and click on the conduits around the room before you can actually engage the boss, but that's not hard. This boss does a lot of magic damage, but actually doesn't hit very hard. There's only really 2 mechanics to deal with here. The first is the ball of energy that moves around the room. It does a lot of damage to anyone standing on the lower ring near the ball, so just stay on the platform and you'll be fine. Every so often the boss will recharge the conduits, raising his defenses significantly. This can be stopped by someone jumping down and clicking on the conduits. Simple enough. He'll power 1 the first time, 2 the second time, 3 the third time, and so on. This will require more time off the platform each time he empowers the conduits, so the ball will eventually be a problem. Still, this is really easy for you to do. If you have a charge move, I suggest you, as the tank, go down to click the conduits, since you'll be taking much less damage, and then you can charge back up with your charge move. Also, the first boss, after the first boss is down, be sure to loot it manually, since that seems to be necessary, at least for now. The next room has a few packs to get ready for the boss. The big guys do Eruption, which is a line of fire on the ground. Simply don't stand in it, or you'll get disoriented for a few seconds. The engineers are actually the big problem here, with their debilitating ray. This will cause you to take a lot of extra damage, so interrupt it when they cast it. The problem is they cast it so fast that you can't always interrupt it all by yourself, so be prepared for a cooldown if your group doesn't help out with that interrupt. Now the boss has 2 big ads with him. I suggest killing the ads first because they hit pretty hard, and they cast that eruption fire line thing that I was just talking about, and with 2 of them it can actually be pretty hard to avoid. The boss will cast debilitating fixation every so often, which basically makes him focus on a party member and reduces their defenses. You'll want to interrupt this as soon as possible to make sure he stays on you. When he gets lower health, he'll start creating very damaging void zones under your group. They're very visible as giant green pools, so just don't stand in them and you'll be fine. The next room is really annoying, as there are a lot of packs. Be careful not to pull too much, as these guys hit hard and can be very, very rough. The big ogres simply do a cone attack, smash, so don't stand in that. The elite guys are the real problem, since they will actually do intimidating shout. This fears you, but more importantly makes you run around at random, which will likely make you pull more mobs in, leading to a wipe. On the upper level, you'll actually run into a summoner ad, which will summon other ads every so often. You want to burn them down quick and interrupt whenever they start summoning new ads. Now the last boss will spawn when you jump down into the arena area. This encounter starts with waves of ads that you've already seen, because the first room is actually from the first room of trash, the second being from the second room of trash, and the third being from the last. You've already dealt with them so just keep doing it. Mostly interrupt Debilitating Ray and the summoning when the summoner's around. When the final boss comes out, he'll start by riding his dragon around the room. When the dragon is actually low health, he'll jump off and start fighting himself. The dragon doesn't do too much, just don't stand in her breath attack. The boss himself actually hits very, very hard. He'll charge at party members and throw out spinning axes that move around. Don't stand at them. He'll actually lower your defenses for a few seconds after he does Iron Reaver, so be sure to use a minor cooldown as needed. Once you beat him, you've finished the dungeon. There are 2 more bosses, but they're actually not available in the level 90 version. Again, remember to manually loot the bosses to see if you can get your level 550 gear, otherwise you might miss out on it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this quick guide to the introductory dungeon. It'll only be open for a month, so go ahead and run it to your heart's desire. Please like, favorite, share, subscribe, and, as always, you keep it salty, Internet.